this whole conversation with me in your head because I didn't.
No, I did. I told
hear
you.
any of this. This is all like completely new stuff. So weirdo. I feel like you need to move over more because the thing's right in your face. $10 seconds.
This is Gov's Radio. Gov's Radio.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show, coming at you live from Governor's Comedy Club, the legendary Governor's Comedy Club in Levittown. Thanks for joining us this morning. GovsRadio.com is the website. You can see our show there live right now.
What will you experience at a Knockem Dead Comedy murder mystery show? Suspense, excitement, love, more love, violence. Well, not really. And of course, some music. Knockem Dead Comedy is the #1 murder mystery troupe, entertaining thousands of people for over 20 years.
You have a great night or what? Good.
Their hilarious murder mystery shows are full of audience interaction from beginning to end that will keep you laughing all night long. Their shows are not to be missed. Knockem Dead Comedy's murder mystery themes include a mob show, a redneck wedding, a high school reunion, a family reunion with a luau theme, or your own custom show.
Johnny, you have a good time tonight or what?
Had an awesome time.
All right. You had a great time. KDC, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah, all right.
Fundraisers, private parties, corporate events, restaurants, and more. Contact Knockem Dead Comedy for your event today.
3-2 to Mookie Wilson. Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Hello, Tony. Mookie Wilson here, 1986 Mets. How you doing? Long time no see, man. Hey, man, I miss you guys, man, at Knockem Dead Comedy Radio, man. I miss you. I wish I was still up there, man. But I'll wait till it warm up a little bit, and hopefully this year things will be a little bit better, man. But when we're talking about comedy, hey, the early years of Mets was a lot to laugh about. You had to make a lot of comedy off those guys. Hey, hope to see you guys during the summer, and hopefully get back on the show, man, at some point in time during the course of the year, all right? All right? Yeah, fine. Contact me, man. All right, Tony. Talk to you later.
Knockem Dead Comedy Radio Show also brought to you by Two Eagles Auto Body. For more than 25 years, Two Eagles Auto Body has been the leader in auto body repairs and customer satisfaction on Long Island. Two Eagles Auto Body handles every type of auto repair, from custom applications and restorations to repairs involving insurance claims. So call Two Eagles Auto Body and ask for John Rossi at 516-328-2527.
Hey, how do you say there, people? It's Johnny Brennan, creator of the Jerky Boys, also of Fox TV's Family Guy fame. I just want to let you know you're listening to Tony and Sallie on the Knockem Dead radio show. They're going to keep knocking them dead, so keep listening, you wacky sons of bitch. Right there. Over and out there, sweet Charlie. Hey, how do you... Knockem dead. Knockem dead. Comedy show. They suck. Knockem dead. Knockem dead. Comedy show. They suck.
The trouble's already begun, ladies and gentlemen. Hi, everybody. It's Monday. It is July 11th. Welcome to the Knockem Dead Comedy Podcast, coming at you live on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. That's the name of the YouTube channel. That's the name of the Facebook page. But we are interacting with you on the YouTube channel. So please subscribe to the YouTube channel and share the link on all your social media pages. And say hi to us on the YouTube channel. We'll say hi back. Comment all you want, because I'm sure there's going to be a lot to comment about today. That's for sure. With these two characters. The Knockem Dead Comedy Podcast. We're live on Gov's Comedy Club Podcast. We're coming at you live from the legendary Governor's Comedy Club, where this weekend TJ Miller is playing the club. TJ Miller will be here. In the Giga Room this weekend, let's see, on Thursday, Mick Thomas is playing with Joe Pontillo and Tom Galati and a bunch of other comedians. That's on Thursday. You got some General Hospital guys on Friday. We don't care about them. Charlie Bequette and Friends on Saturday. That's in the Giggle Room. At the Brokerage in Belmore, the Laugh-Off continues on Wednesday. And one of my personal favorites, Mark Riccadonna, is playing the Brokerage in Belmore Friday and Saturday. At McGuire's in Bohemia, the Laugh-Off continues on Thursday. And then D.C. Benny plays the Brokerage in Bohemia on Friday and Saturday. D.C. Benny is fantastic. Lots of great shows here at all three Governor's Comedy Clubs. Go to govs.com to find out the full schedule and make some reservations. And speaking of which, don't forget Knockem Dead Comedy. We're playing in the Giggle Room October 28th. Go to Knockem Dead Comedy, find out our schedule, what we got cooking. And, yes. And, find out our schedule, what we got cooking. And we'll... let's see. Sorry, just taking care of some last minute graphics. We'll take good care of you. If you'd like to, we're playing Knockem Dead Comedy. We're playing at the at Peppercorns in Hicksville, July 22nd. Go to knockemdeadcomedy.com. Find out who we are, what we do. You're having a fundraiser, having a private party, or you have an establishment where you need to sell tickets, or you have a corporate event. Any occasion, Knockem Dead Comedy will make you laugh with our comedic murder mysteries and comedic game shows, audience interactive shows. They're great. Let's see. Good morning, Jeff Bosey. Good morning, Jerry Lahane. Good morning, Lou Pratt. And good morning.
Good morning.
Now, all right, first things first. What am I calling you?
You call me Tim.
It's back to Tim.
Yeah.
Wait, change your name? You in witness protection?
No. I just had an issue with inmates looking me up on Facebook, so I used the pseudonym, but then
But now that you're retired, you don't worry about the pseudonym anymore?
I still have a pseudonym because they can still look me up, but it's fine.
Oh.
I just altered it a bit because I lost the TIOG thing.
Oh, you lost the TIOG thing?
Oh, yeah, I'm done with that.
Oh, you're done with TIOG?
Retired. Retired.
Oh, all right. So it's Tim.
I got the same problem in the courts. They call me Sugar Shorts. That's my...
At home or at work?
Everywhere.
That's when he's working on Saturday nights and there's something else going on.
That was that night job you told me.
Jerry Lahane says Charles Goonan uploaded 2 new videos of oldies crooning. Okay, good. This isn't Charles' show. So Lou and Tim are here. So Lou and Tim have not seen each other until about 5 minutes ago. Since when? 1979?
I think I did 10th grade, so that's probably 1981.
I was cool that year, so I didn't really see you.
Well,
No, I'm kidding.
So, yeah. So let's go back. Explain this. You guys grew up together, or
No, we were in school together. Yeah, in Kings Park.
wow?
Yeah.
Junior high school.
What are the chances of that? So,
And he saw me on the show. So he says, "Is this Lou Pratt's from Kings Park?" And we just started talking.
wow.
Since then.
It was the last time I was here.
Okay.
And
Which was when, like probably 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Yeah, and then I just saw that he had commented on something. I said, I thought his last name had 2 T's, and it could it be the same guy? So I sent something. I sent him a PM, and I guess it went into a spam folder because I didn't hear back for a little while.
Oh, okay.
And then I heard it say, he said, yeah, blah, 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 same guy. Yeah. I said,
So, did it ever have 2 T's or?
Yeah, we have to sell one.
Ah, yeah, that makes
so-
sense.
Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah. Wheel of Fortune. So, and then, so you guys got to talking, and did you guys did you know each other well in school?
Sure.
Did-
I mean,
yeah.
like
really?
mostly, I think we had a couple of classes together.
Yes, we
you know,
did,
and
yeah.
then it was mostly lunchtime. We were hanging out, and he was sitting at our table, and I was sitting at his table, whatever it was, and you know,
It's funny though. Yeah, 10th grade, I guess, but I didn't see him much in 10th because I was going to Wilson Tech or whatever in the afternoons.
yeah, that was my last year. And then
Oh, you moved?
Yeah.
Oh, where'd you go?
Shirley.
Oh,
My
okay.
parents were divorced, so I was with my mother till then I went to my father's for the summer, right after 10th grade, and then moved in with my dad.
That
So it was like 1980.
Yeah.
Last time. Yeah.
that must have been tough. Did you say to Mom, "I don't want to move. I'll
Well,
miss
we
my
would
friend
go-
Lou"?
We would go. We would just go for the summer, and I just said I think I like it out here, and, so I just decided to stay with my dad.
Shirley was better than Kings Park.
Yeah, it's no
Th-
way.
Does that bother you?
It bothers me because I know what Shirley, how Shirley was, but I'm talking more about friends that I hang out in the summer because in school you're passing each other, and if you didn't live in you're right in your own neighborhood, you had that distance thing. I mean, you were I think you lived up behind.
Boxwood.
Okay.
By the hospital.
Right.
Psychiatric center.
Oh, that makes sense.
And I lived in San Remo,
I have no
which
idea.
is by
what-
St. Anthony's High School.
Oh,
Who
okay.
used to
All
live
right.
there?
that-
Terry McNeely used to live.
Oh, is that
He
he's
was
from
there
that
for a
area
couple
too?
of years.
He knows everybody. That guy.
I know, right?
He's
No,
everywhere.
He,
I don't
he,
know. Oh, you don't know who that is?
Yes, he lived in San Remo.
Oh, but he wasn't in the same class or anything.
No. This is later in life. This is just like a few years
wasn't in
back.
school. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I lived on Walnut Road with the big hill. Mm-hmm. Broke my arm on that hill.
Jerry Lahane says he enjoys the invisible guy in the 4th seat. Jerry Lahane's busting my balls. I don't.
Actually,
There's nobody filling
there
the 4th
there
seat?
is not anyone there. Oh,
So, and were you Tim back then, or did you have some kind of weird nickname back then
No.
too? No, it was just Tim.
just Tim or my last name. Hey, whatever.
Hey,
You can say it.
oh, okay. Hey, Patrick said, hey.
No, that's the middle name. So
Oh, this guy, he's full of mystery. This guy.
I tell you, he is an enigma.
Is he definitely the guy you went to school with, or is he
don't
know.
posing
No,
as
let
him?
me tell you something. There was a turning point in 7th grade. I was shy because I was new. I came in the middle of the year or first couple of weeks. We moved from St. James.
Oh, okay.
And we moved to. I started 7th grade. So back then, 6th grade ended elementary school.
Right, yeah.
7th grade started junior high. So now you got 3 other grades of kids. You're the youngest one. You're also the newer one.
Right.
And then, like in the 3rd or 4th week, we moved
like a worst case
to
scenario.
Kings Park. So
so you only knew each other for a few years.
right.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
okay.
coming from
I'm just
that, I
catching
came
up to
from divorced family, new school, new junior high, changing junior high, and then you're the new kid all over again. So I was.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Like
I ended up in summer school in 7th grade for like 3 subjects. Did you?
Yep.
Yeah. I was like,
Really?
We had summer school together too.
Yeah,
Now that I
yeah.
think about that.
Look at you two derelicts. Holy
Exactly.
crap.
And back then I look at it. I'm like, oh, riding your bike from San Remo to summer school at Kings Park Senior High School. I'm like, oh, uphill up 25A, and now I drive by there. I'm like, son. That is pretty. What is wrong with me? I gotta. What's wrong with my parents?
But that was how it was when we were kids. We went everywhere on our own.
Right.
Yeah, on a bicycle or even
and I was
walked.
an adult when I drive by, and I'll tell you something that was comical. I ended up with a library book back in 10th grade, and 40 years later, I'm going through a box of crap, and I find it.
Oh, wow. That's a Seinfeld episode. You ever see that one?
Yeah.
The library cop comes
Yeah,
after Seinfeld. Yeah.
So I take the book, and I was coming up here. I think that was the first time I was on your show.
I was going to say, this does sound a little familiar.
And I just walked in there, and they were doing construction on the front. And there was some administrator that said, "Excuse me, I'd like to return this." I had it. I just didn't return it. And she looked at the thing and it said like 1981 stamped in the back. I said, I'm just an honest
read it
person.
a couple of times.
Yeah.
I'm just an honest person returning this 40 years later.
It was the shooting at Kent State. That was the book.
Oh.
Really?
So what was the late charge
It
on
wasn't.
that
I
thing?
just, here you go. I was out of there.
Wow. They didn't try to stop you? Because there's probably a good...
She staring at the back cover like it was still in good condition. The card was stamped returned by 1981, whatever it was. And I said, here. And if they asked me, I was going to give them somebody's name that I disliked back then. That's what I figured.
Tom Quinn.
What's that?
This guy Tom. We were talking on Facebook, and I'm like, yeah, I went to summer school with him too, but I didn't have issues with him.
Oh, there was somebody that you had issues with?
Yeah, he was my bully. He had
really?
different bullies. Yeah.
Oh, you
especially being the shy new kid. Oh, I was.
Really?
I had issues.
No
and then
kidding.
By like 8th grade, I started coming out of my shell because now in the middle, I've got a year and a couple of months, and where I came out of my shell, believe it or not, I went to my father's for the weekend. He had HBO or whatever, Showtime, whatever it was.
Oh, that's why.
I'm staying up. I'm staying up late at night, and when Richard Pryor live in concert came out.
Oh wow. Okay.
I can still give you lines from that album.
No kidding.
I was that's where it came out, and then I would do my little skit in the lunchroom or whatever, and it,
Yeah.
whatever it was. But that's where I started.
I remember those days
Shell.
when, I mean, it seemed back then you had that dial, the cable box.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it seemed back then it seemed like a lot of channels, but it was cool because to find the kid that had the box, and you would watch the Richard Pryor and the Eddie Murphy, the big Eddie Murphy thing that came out in the early '80s, Delirious, yeah. Bill Cosby himself, like those were big specials. And then of course you had the dial and that dial, it had the buttons for the channels, but then the dial to find the porn.
Dial.
Right, you would find the pixelated porn. You just kind of make out maybe a nipple or something. Right?
Or when you couldn't get it, you could just the little wave with the
right. Yes.
Be like, oh, I can
sometimes
see
you hit two. You had the 2 rows of buttons. Sometimes if you found the combination of hitting 2 at the same time, you'd be able to find it. Oh yeah, all the time.
We were in Work Habits. It was called Work Habits Study
Skills. Yeah.
And
Mrs. Martin.
Miss Martin's, but we had Mr. Race for like a class or two.
Mr. Race?
Yes. W or whatever. He was a dick. Put gum on your nose. Remember if you
What?
Oh yeah, if you were chewing gum, they made you sit on. Yeah,
put
they
it
made
on
on
your
nose.
Oh God, it was.
Who did that? Mr. Race did that?
Yeah.
That is.
He didn't really take an interest in our learning. I don't think.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
played
Paycheck,
for
yeah.
one of his substitute classes. He played the whole Bill Cosby himself album.
Really?
Yeah, like this is gonna help me. Actually, yeah.
Yeah, true.
The stuff that
In
went
the
back
long
on
run.
in our day, if you did it now, forget it. It would.
Oh, absolutely right. Yep.
Forget
Yeah.
it.
I had a teacher once, a math teacher. This guy was easily 6'5" and at least 300 pounds. And one day he was mad at us for something. I forget what the class was doing, but he walked to his right of his desk and he laid down on the floor and he just laid there. Eventually, he fell asleep, and we just sat there for the whole class while this big behemoth of a man was just sleeping on the floor. Mr. Irwin.
I had a guy. Social. He was old, but he dressed like he was back in the 50s with a tie and the horn-rimmed glasses.
Right.
Huge, and he had what do you call it when you fall asleep? Narcolepsy.
Oh yeah.
And he would just be like, no. And then somebody, he'd ask a question and nod out. And I remember this girl Gina sitting in the front row. She's like, I know. He's like, you're gonna give me a
Holy
Yeah,
crap.
I thought he was going down for sure.
Wow.
And that was at Mercy High School in Riverhead.
Okay.
And then I played. I got into lacrosse.
Oh yeah.
And that was another outlet for me too, because a lot of the other kids I went to school with couldn't play.
Oh, is that
They
right?
had, You couldn't
It
cradle
was,
accent.
yeah, it was different than now.
Yeah.
Well, lacrosse was kind of a fairly new sport in high school.
7th
when
grade,
we
I
were
saw
kids,
other people doing it. So I got to get on the team. I wasn't, I was terrible in the beginning, but once I learned to cradle that ball, and they used to put us in the tennis courts, and we used to just sit there throwing it back and forth and snap. So I got good at it.
Oh, nice.
And then when we had to do that when it was raining outside for gym, or they would do indoor lacrosse. That's where I excelled. That's where people noticed me.
Oh wow, that's cool. So what? So then you became the cool kid, but you were already gone from Kings Park, or no?
No. In 7th grade. So that's when I got on there, and
so you became a cool guy. You were a jock.
No, I wasn't a jock. I was like the kid that wasn't that very good in 7th grade. And 8th grade is okay. When I got to 8th grade and we were doing that indoor thing, all the cool kids, instead of being the last kid picked, I want him.
That's all you got to do is shine in one sport, and they want you, and, and you could change your status.
And then with the comedy stuff and the smart aleck stuff, I was tiny. I was.
Oh, really?
Skinny. Oh man,
yeah.
I was skinny.
Because you're also tall. You were.
I was average height.
Really?
There was some taller than me, some shorter than me, but if you looked at me, I had long bangs and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, really? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If I saw me coming, I'm like, that kid's getting picked on.
Yeah, he doesn't have his lunch money on him.
Yeah. I never got shook down for lunch money. It's just, I did my thing. After failing 3 subjects in summer school, or 4 summer school in 7th grade, to add that on top of that, I was like, it was just horrible. Mm-hmm.
See, I loved summer school. I only went once, but I loved it because
Me too.
It's like the abridged version of
is,
the
like
whole
Reader's
year in
Digest
6
version
weeks. I found it to be so easy. I breezed right through it. I remember even thinking to myself, man, I should do this every year.
Yeah, like why couldn't I?
It's kind of like just cruise through the whole school year and then.
Well, don't do school and just go to summer school.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's really
because we all knew those kids that didn't show up for like half the year because they were sick or something happened.
Yeah.
I seriously considered it, but I knew, of course, my mother would kill me, so I never did that. But
it kind
I did
of ruined family vacation.
Yeah, well, we didn't go on vacation. So, all right. So
Andrew Plajanos lived in San Remo. I didn't know that. Who?
Andrew Plajanos. I keep having to double take. It's like looking at a before and after and after. Yeah, it kind of does. Before, after. Yeah, he's right.
And I kind of find it ironic that after we reconnected, that he's a court officer and I was a corrections officer.
Well, yeah, I was going to get to that too. All right, so before we get to that, so what year did you guys? Well, I mean, obviously went to a different school, but what year did you graduate?
83.
83. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
We're old.
Yeah, right. You're not old.
So what have you been doing the last 40 years other than
nothing?
Lost total track of each other until
I saw his name on the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the one thing, and I'm not bashing anybody from Kings Park or anything, but I saw the friends list and I say, I wonder who I still know or names I've recognized as I'm going down this list of people. And some I click on them and I say, damn, nobody left Kings Park but me.
Oh,
everybody
is that right?
lives.
It seems like people stay.
They just stay there.
Well, it is a nice area, right?
I'm not knocking that, but I'm like, am I the only one that left that city?
Rob Podine left too.
Oh, yeah. I did
that's it, huh? Rob Podine and Tim, that's it?
He's in I did see that. California. Yeah.
Wow.
And then the dude that, since he was the court officer, I used to work with the Sea Cadets. It's like a Navy version.
Oh, I did that.
Okay. So I was with the Stennis Division. I was a lieutenant.
Okay. You already lost me. I apparently did not go that far, but yeah.
Stennis Division is a ship, so each one has a ship. So they call it the Stennis Division. I was just a lieutenant.
Okay.
And I volunteered for that. I like working with the kids and whatnot. And one time we went to the Riverhead Jail. They were going to take a tour through there.
Okay.
So my father was a correction officer.
Oh, okay.
In Riverhead, but he had since passed. So we took the kids through there, and the next following trip we were going to go to the courthouse. Didn't see Lou. But hey, I didn't know he was there. But when we get in there, the judge came and talked to them. We were sitting in a certain section. And they had that little holding area where they push everybody in a bullpen. And I'm standing there in my dress uniform. The kids are all standing there. They would stand for the judge. All rise. And all of a sudden, I just see they see the kids, so they want to intimidate them. Blah, 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 get their hands on the wall. And all of a sudden, I make eye contact with some guy I did not get along with, who's in the bullpen.
Oh,
I
wow.
said, "Isn't this great?" And then he saw me, and he was like, and all the kids go, "He knows you."
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, wonderful. Funny how you're on that side of the glass.
Right.
I can go home. I can come in. I can come out.
You don't have to say a word. Just look at him.
We knew. Yep.
That's
yeah.
right,
Yeah.
fucker. I'm here. You're there.
He was the badass. With the jeans and the chain and the wallet and the work boots. And the denim jacket with Rush on the back, and then
Oh my God.
Yep. I went. That happened to me once. I was visiting somebody that was in jail for a minor thing. He was in there for a few months. I just went in to see him. But I saw another inmate that a guy I graduated high school with, and we just kind of met eyes. I was like, and he just immediately turned away, and I did it the same thing. I just kind of laughed to myself, and that was that's that. But you said you didn't see Lou that day, huh?
No,
didn't know he was working there.
Yeah,
everybody I knew that day was on the other side of the glass.
Recognize me.
Beansy is watching. Hello, Beansy. Gina Says, good day, sirs. Gina DiMicino.
DiMicino.
DiMicino. Oh, is that a friend of yours?
Yeah, I saw you yesterday.
Oh, very nice.
I also saw Melissa and Teddy yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Yes.
Oh, you were up in Syracuse yesterday?
No.
Oh, they're here. There.
Not anymore.
Who the hell are we talking about?
What? well, we some mutual friends, Teddy and Melissa. Do I know Gina?
I don't know.
Oh, she's...
Gigi, does he know you? Do you know each other?
But where's...
I can't see. I'm in
feel like
Facebook
I
jail.
know her.
Where's Melissa and Teddy? They're
They're
not...
probably home now. They left.
Oh, but they were here this weekend?
Yes.
Sons of bitches. I didn't know they were around.
Bastards.
Oh.
I didn't get a call.
Can we edit that part out? So
Yeah, right.
they have a
and then-
they have a radio show also.
Oh, do they?
Yeah, they have
Syracuse.
a Billy Joel radio show up in Syracuse.
Oh.
I infiltrated. I don't know if this is considered cheating on Melissa and
I
Teddy.
think
or-
it is. Kind of.
No,
cheating.
they've been in here, and
I know, we were
I've
here
been up
together
there.
last time. If you remember.
That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah. Gina says she has friends who went to Mercy High School. And Danielle O'Brien, just a shout out to my old friend Timmy, she says.
Hey, well, see, that's one of the very few people in my adult life I let call me Timmy.
Oh, is that right?
Oh, absolutely. How are you, Danielle?
Yeah, look at all these girls that are chiming
And
in
her
today
sister
to
Kim.
say hi to their Timmy.
huh?
Who's
Look at
that?
this. Well,
I can't see
Gina-
it because I'm in Facebook jail.
Why are you in Facebook
I have
jail?
no idea. It seems
You
to
must.
be.
You know what? Did
I
you
don't
do?
know. It just says the community standards or whatever. I have no idea.
I
Is
don't
that a
even know
phone
if these
call?
standards-
No, I just realized I had the phones off, so I just turned them
Oh,
on.
okay, Jeffrey.
The phones
If
are
he had
on.
the phones. It was on silent, so you can break through if you want to.
You come on. They usually tell you what you're in Facebook jail for.
I will show you where it says if you.
I
It
don't
says
know.
I'm
There's
a
no
restriction.
due process with that.
Yeah, I couldn't.
Well,
even,
that's true.
I couldn't even appeal it. I'm looking at my phone. That's probably Jeff telling me I can't get through. Damn it.
Yeah, you and our pal Beansy, he gets thrown in Facebook jail a lot.
I really don't know what I did. But there was one
got
time
a
where
warning.
they said it was against community standards.
Yeah.
And I said, "But you can't show nudity." I'm like, "Where's the nudity in the picture?" And I'll tell you what the first thing was.
Oh, so you know it was a
it was
picture you
one
posted.
thing, and I got out of Facebook jail within like 2 hours,
Okay.
which is unheard of.
Yeah.
Lawyer.
Yeah.
So
right.
what it was is right after Will Smith did the slap.
Okay.
Okay, there was a little meme on there that showed, honey, the guy just delivered the videotape of you, and it was a silhouette of two people in the position. And they said that goes against our community standards. Like, you guys, where's the
Silhouettes
nudity?
now?
Right, and then all of a sudden,
I
2
have no
hours
problem
later, I
with
was
that.
out, and then maybe I think it was some kind of comment about somebody that said the kid broke it back into the house and broke the screen, like the kid snuck out and broke the screen coming out. And I said,
Yeah.
you know what? Back in the day, my father would, if I broke the screen, he'd have me standing outside the house holding the screen up because I'd be the window until I saved up enough money to
Yeah,
fix the
exactly,
screen.
right?
Shoot up by mosquitoes, something like that. Now, you go against community standards, but it didn't tell me what it was.
Oh, that's
the
weird.
only thing that I posted.
punishment?
But I don't know. It said I had 30 days before I could post and 48 days before I could go live.
It ain't right.
It ain't right.
It ain't right. These people, with their mighty Facebook swords.
So who
tell
else said
people
hi because
who's-
I can't read it?
Half of them are probably freaking.
Andy Bujanos, did he just say meme? Yes, he did.
Meme, whatever you want to.
MMA?
No, memes.
Memes.
Right?
Oh,
Memes.
meme.
He said meme.
I don't know. Me. So you tag me in a post and I can't even post it.
Oh, me? Yeah, I just tagged you both, for the show.
Tell me what you want to say. I'll be.
Account restricted. Now, account restricted. If I hit it,
Yeah.
your account, restriction history, you can't post for 17 more days. You can't take part in groups for 17. You can't go live for 47 days. You can't advertise for 47 days.
Jeez.
Half hour TV,
and this
right
is
to bed.
yeah.
No
May,
dinner.
May 23rd, June 28th. So I can't even see what I put on June 20th because they take it down.
Right.
So I have absolutely no idea.
You know Christy Miller?
Yeah.
She's a comedian based out of the city. I forget what she posted, but it was really nothing. And same thing. They told her that she's going to Facebook jail. If you'd like to appeal it, click this, whatever. So she did. She appealed it. They doubled the punishment just for appealing it.
And maybe that's why I ended up with 47
Really?
days instead of 30. And it
Just
goes
for the
away.
appeal. And they even said, because you appealed this, and they extended it, whatever the time was, they actually doubled it.
They're like a horrible parent.
It's insane,
You know?
really. Yeah, but it's also for our generation. For me, it's even insane that it's such a big deal.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. It seems like, yeah.
It shouldn't.
To younger kids, like, oh no, in Facebook jail.
Andy says maybe because you said meme. Maybe that's
Meme. Good one. Yeah, that could be. And I'm going in for another 47 days.
So, yeah. So then it turns out you're both. What would you say? Law enforcement?
Quasi.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's like, do you guys
Like, in the courts, like the state is my jurisdiction.
And it
Like,
was, it was the
it's like
same
peace officer
for me. Yeah.
status.
But do you would you say your upbringing in Kings Park had anything to do with that? Because it is kind of a weird coincidence. Or...
go ahead. You
My
can
first day as a court officer was in Bronx criminal court.
Oh,
And it
really?
couldn't have been more of a culture shock.
I bet.
And I
in
had
the Bronx,
family who
yeah.
lived in the Bronx. We lived in
Yeah.
Co-op City. But that, at the courthouse, forget it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's
Fish
a
out
whole
of
different
water.
world out there.
Yeah.
How long were you there before you made your way here?
3 years.
Oh, that's not
Bronx
bad.
criminal, yeah.
It's not bad.
To
And
life.
Were
Then
you?
I went back.
And were you a guard here at all? Or
Guard. It ain't no
No.
bank.
What do you mean?
You don't say guard.
Oh, you don't say guard? Why not?
Correctional officer.
Officer.
And I'm not being.
No. That's
What's the? And I'm just again. I'm not arguing. I'm
You get-
seriously
No,
asking.
hard.
What's the difference?
We get called bailiff. What the hell's a bailiff?
Oh, bailiff's not like a term anymore.
Dick
And the
term.
whole time I was there,
Really?
one old guy called me turnkey.
Oh, well, that's
Turnkey.
an insult, right?
Yeah, but
But
in
guard
his
is.
time it was, yeah.
But guard is an insult too.
Guard.
Really?
Was it Joe Biden?
Nah.
Say malarkey too?
No, it's correctional officer.
Correctional officer.
Yeah.
All right, my
But
apologies.
you always
I
say,
had
no,
idea.
I'm not offended by that. I always just say,
So were you?
because the next guy you meet may take offense to that.
Oh,
So,
sure.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah, I had no idea they even took offense to that.
Well, you remember, I
You
used
could
to
do
work down the
Facebook
street.
jail time for that.
Well, no, that's what I was about to ask. So you were doing it here before you went to
No,
Florida?
I worked down the street at Verizon. I was a 411 guy, remember?
Oh shit! I totally forgot about that.
Yeah. I was a 411.
I did forget.
411 supervisor right down the street, but they since closed the office. And
Yeah.
you don't even have 411 anymore.
Right.
But I took the buyout in
When?
2003.
Oh, so you weren't
okay.
a correctional officer all that long then? Were you? 2003.
With my military
23.
time, it equates to 20 years, but I did 16.
Oh, okay.
Because
Oh,
you can
wow.
buy 4 years back.
Right. Okay.
So
gotcha.
so I'm credited with 20. I physically worked 16.
I'm
Okay,
so
okay.
mad about that because I could have been tier 1. Because back in
That's-
like '83,
right.
all right, all my friends we were gonna go to Sunken Meadow to get jobs for the summer, and that would
Okay.
have put me on the state
Oh, yeah.
line. But
You can.
I was hungover. I didn't go. I could have bought back that time. I could sit here retired right now, but so kids don't drink and go.
Yeah.
Go to that
Go to that
Sunken Meadow
interview, yeah.
job.
I went to the Corrections Academy roughly in 1980.
Okay.
If you can follow that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what that is my father was a correction officer. So when we would go for the summer, I went to Corrections 101 every Saturday morning at the breakfast table.
Yeah.
So by the time I actually went to the academy, I was pretty much up on that.
Who is that? Is that for me?
I don't think so. Hello, you're on the air.
Hey, how you guys doing up there?
We're doing all right up here. How's it going down there?
Jeffrey.
It's roasting down here in sunny Florida.
Oh, how bad is it?
Yeah, I haven't checked, but I'm sure it's in the upper 80s.
Well, yeah, that's
Not as
hot.
bad as it has been the last couple of days. It was in the
Facts.
90s.
So, all right. So you just said Jeffrey. This is a friend of yours,
There's another
Jeffrey.
retired correctional officer.
Another retired correctional officer. How was it? How was it working with Tim? I almost said Tiog. How is it working with Tim down there in?
Not Timmy.
That's right.
Tim, I love working with Tim.
He caused a lot of
He's like
trouble.
one of the only friends I had after 30 years in that place. We got along great.
And let's mind you,
Hated
he was on my
everybody
side
else.
of the bars when he says 30 years. He was on my side. No, actually,
I did a life sentence on the installment plan.
no, we're good friends, best friends. Our wives are friends. We travel together. It's
Is that the guy you went to Sturgis with?
yes, we went to Sturgis.
Oh, you went to Sturgis.
Yeah.
You do that every year?
No, I've only done it once.
Oh,
He's
okay.
done it twice,
That
but
looked like a cool trip.
we plan on doing it again.
Yeah, I've heard some great things about it.
It's a crowd. If you ride, you have to go at least once.
Okay, I don't. But
Yeah.
do you?
No, I got married. How did you get a motorcycle and be married at the same time?
Jeffrey, you want to
Well, I got
you want
mine
to explain
before I
that,
got
Jeff?
married.
Is there a secret?
Tell him how I got to ride the motorcycle, Jeff.
His wife was dead set against it.
Yeah.
And then I had a couple bikes, and so I let him borrow mine. one of mine, and he rode it, and I took her for a ride, and that was it. She wanted him to get a bike, and it wasn't too long after that he got one.
So you can verify that he does have a wife, because this guy talks about his wife, never seen her, and he has, like, I've never seen anybody with more freedom as a married man.
Tony, if you just shot me in the ass because she's listening, that's
Well, let's just say that there's certain events that Tim likes to go to that Tanya isn't that interested in. I'll leave it at that.
Like Sausage Fest.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Sausage Fest with a particular kind of music.
Man.
Culture Club.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it.
And we'll leave it at that.
Someone gave me advice. They said, get a motorcycle before you get married, and just before you get married, establish one night a week where you go out. Even if you don't go anywhere, just go out, because you'll lose it so fast.
Well, actually, it was the opposite, because we went from you're not getting a bike, and Jeff said, hey, you can borrow mine, and she, the scowling look she gave him, and then Jeff was in Daytona, and he found a bike. You might like this one, so I went down to check it out. I didn't get that bike, but I ended up getting a trike. And then now, years later, my wife is, I'll be sitting at home, whatever, and she'll come home from work, and she'll be like, are we going out on the bike today?
Oh, she goes with you.
Wow.
Now, she did a whole 180.
Jeez.
Wow.
See, I'm working on getting a scooter.
I'm all about a big wheel.
Go ahead, Jeff.
The trick is, fellas, is if your wife has an objection, if a girl that you're dating or whatever, if she has an objection to motorcycles, they're letting you do what you want, don't marry her.
Oh, boy, we know your wife's at work.
Yeah, there's some good marriage advice from Jeff.
If
Very
I had
nice.
a time machine, Jeff.
Jeff, do you have a favorite story involving Tim?
Yeah, well, when we first met, I had been at the prison for over 20 years when we first met.
Right.
And we were talking. Somehow we got on the subject of wine. I don't know how he said,
wine.
I just over in Tarpon Springs. He tells me he's got this sugar-free wine, and he wanted me to try it. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy is so full of crap. You can't make wine without sugar. That's what fermenting. And I'm like, he said, you drink this stuff, you wake up the next day, you feel great. He said, I'll bring you a bottle next week. You wouldn't be surprised how many BSers there are in the Department of Corrections. So I'm thinking, yeah. Well, sure thing. Next week he shows up and he's got a bottle of wine in his hand, and he gives it to me. And he said, try it. So I drank that thing. Next day I woke up and right as rain, I said to myself, God, maybe this guy isn't full of crap.
And then his car broke down. Then his car broke down the next day and was totaled, just died, and that was for talking trash at the prison.
Karma.
Karma got you in the ass.
Very nice.
Sugarless wine.
All right, Jeff, well, we appreciate the call, pal.
Yeah, man, anytime.
All right, you have a great day.
See you.
You guys take it easy.
Take care.
All right, we got another call. Oh, and I missed
Hello.
it. Whoever that was, call again, because sorry about that. We were on the phone with Jeff, so I didn't want to cut him off. Comedian Tom Kelly has been commenting. Hello, Tom. Thanks for watching, pal. Very funny comedian. He has his own podcast as well, Tom Kelly Show, and he's trying to get people to give us. He's trying to get 10 thumbs up for our show today. So I'll tell you what, if we get 10 thumbs up,
Come on.
we'll get you a personalized message from Tom Kelly. How about that? All right. So they're calling back. You're live on the air. Who's this?
Hey, it's another Verizon retiree, Mo.
Hey, it's Mo. Hi, Mo. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks, guys. How are you?
Doing all right.
Good.
You're calling to say hi to Tim?
Of course, no one wants me.
Of course. well, yes, hi to you too. But I heard you talking about Verizon, and I just figured I'd chime in because we all gave our blood to that company. So.
Yeah, and well, you're a recent retiree.
Yes, 39 years as of September of last year.
And then you retired when?
September 4th of last year.
Oh wow! Oh, it's been that long since you retired already. Holy cow!
Yeah, I know. It's flying by.
39 years. That's insane.
It is insane, isn't it? I can't believe it.
I don't think I've done anything for 39 years.
Yeah, I think I'm with you there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's when we met again. There's your accomplishment.
That's right. So all the time since you guys saw each other, Maureen did her career at Verizon.
Actually, I'm going to see her later.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. We're doing Bleecker Street tonight, the bitter end.
Oh, really?
Richie.
Oh, Richie Canada's Monday Night Jam?
Yes.
Mo's bringing her flowers?
No, not tonight. That's only for special Lord shows. He gets flowers.
Oh, I didn't. And what does Tim get?
Tim gets a ride.
That's all I would need.
And of course, I'll buy Tim some drinks. It's,
Ooh, she's going to get you drunk.
He's the guest of honor. So.
The guest of honor. Look at you.
Every
time I go up there, since high school, you got all these cult followers.
Yeah, really.
And
look at him. He's not even surprised.
Richie doesn't even know I'm coming. Every time I come up from Florida, I say, I came up just to see you. And then, then Tony's, oh, you came up just to see Lou. That's not true. Does anybody know the real reason I came up here?
To see Mo.
Well, that's one of them, but that's not the real reason.
The real reason.
No.
To see Melissa and Teddy.
That's another reason I came up. The whole group of people that I spent with the weekend.
Idea.
Gay sex. I don't know.
Oh, no. No. Prison life is over.
That's Thailand. He goes.
The actual reason that I came up here is I heard they were closing the Good Steer on July 9th.
Yes,
they
70
years. So that's what I came up for. I wanted to be the last customer.
What? I don't know what that
Good
is.
Steer?
Yeah.
Good Steer's a restaurant.
A restaurant that's been around 70 years.
Where?
Suffolk County. What is that? Not Ronkonkoma. It's probably
Is it Lake Grove?
Lake Grove or Center
Lake Grove,
East.
said Mo.
Yeah.
That's the real.
I'm not familiar with it.
I found out. That's what when I got. I couldn't believe it.
Did you come up
Yeah,
from the
I
boarding
saw it on
the boarding one.
I saw it on Facebook.
You saw. You saw. And Mo, where were you? You're not out. You're not in Suffolk, are you?
No, I'm in Nassau County, Lynbrook.
Right. That's what
But
I thought.
I saw Dave Clark post it on Facebook that it was closed, and I think he was like a patron of that. He lives near it.
Yeah,
so.
and here's a funny Dave Clark story. When he was selling his house, which was in the vicinity of there, I told him, Dave, you want to increase the value? I don't know what you're selling a house for. I don't know what you're getting. Not my business, but just an unsolicited suggestion. Now that you have a buyer, and when you go to closing, put in the back patio a little cement slab, where the kids put their footprints and whatnot. And I said, and sign it. I said, so when your name takes off, someone can say, I've got Dave Clark's house.
Yes.
Yeah. He didn't. I don't think he took me up on it. Actually, I'm going to see Cindy in Florida, his wife. She's doing a show.
Cindy Bradley. Yeah.
Yes, on the 17th.
She's amazing. She's an amazing jazz artist. Man, see, again, I don't.
Really?
You're all over the place. Like, do you? What's the longest you've ever just sat at home and done nothing? Have you ever sat at home and done nothing?
Every day when my wife goes to work from 73, it's me and the dogs hanging out. I might go out to the pool. My job
like
now.
You chase snakes.
Snakes. I got snakes in the yard. Being retired is a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
I'd be so
the
good
only job that I'm required to do, other than the cleaning, is I fill the dog's bowl and change the coffee filters in my wife's Keurig.
Wow.
Take out the garbage.
Wow.
It's wonderful.
Mo, what do you?
My wife would disagree with that.
Yeah, right. Mo, what are you doing for retirement?
By the way, she does exist. I met her.
There you go.
There
you go.
We have
I can attest to that.
Wow.
She actually met Jeff too.
Oh well, all right, that makes sense down in Florida. But
No,
how did?
we were here just in May. Remember?
I do remember.
Yeah.
Oh, you brought her with you that time?
Yes.
Damn it! I would love to meet her. Wow. So that's when Mo met her as well.
No, you met her once before, I believe, Maureen, right? When your niece was
Yeah,
up? Yes.
yep.
It's the same girl. Before you try that one.
Yeah, same
I don't
woman,
have a stand-in.
Beansy, we have Mo. We have one of our regular viewers. His name is Beansy. He lived in Lynbrook by the 7-Eleven off Atlantic Avenue.
I know that one.
Oh yes, I know it well.
I lived in Mount.
I'm near the 7-Eleven, but by Cross Island Fruit. So.
Oh, okay. And what are you doing with yourself now that you're retired?
Well, playing with the dogs, visiting other retirees. I'm traveling. I'm going to go to Florida for a visit to see my sister. I actually was there for my birthday. I'm going to California for 3 weeks in November to visit friends.
Nice.
Excellent. Good for you.
I'm taking up some. I'm going to be doing some animal charity work soon. I'm looking into doing that, either fostering or helping out with fundraisers or adoption events. I want to get into that.
Oh, very nice. That's cool.
Sallie waterboards dogs.
Sallie waterboards. Sallie boards dogs. We have right now. Well, we have 5 of our own, and we currently So, and she's boarding some dogs. We currently have 8 dogs in the house.
Now, boarding for a rescue or boarding for friends that are going away?
Well, for people, yes, it's a business. People that they're going away.
Wonderful. Yeah, I like that. Other than putting them in a kennel, that's a great thing to do.
Right. Actually, my big guy, the Rottweiler, he's in doggy daycare and he loves it. They have swimming pools, all these activities. The whole house is converted, and he comes home exhausted.
Oh yeah,
exhausted.
There's this one couple who has they use Sallie to board their dog, but they live up the block. So sometimes they're just out walking the dog. If they're passing her house, the dog gets all excited and starts trying to run up the driveway.
It's
but they're like,
so funny you say that because the dogs don't know they're going. I got them in my truck. And as soon as I get to a certain light, right away, they're just insane, like, woo, and they'll pull me in there. And they don't even say goodbye. They run right in, they go in the back, and they come out to shoot. They love it there.
She even watched Captain Jack's dog once or twice. She took good care of him. Yeah.
Cooper.
Yeah, Cooper, that's it, yeah.
That's a big dog.
Yeah. All right, Mo, well, good to hear from you, and congratulations on the retirement, and have fun on all your trips.
Yeah.
Thank you.
See you later.
I appreciate it.
And hope to see you soon, man.
Have fun, guys. Don't talk about me too much.
Oh, we will. Goodbye.
All right, later.
2 years I'm retiring. Me and Brian are going to get in an RV and go across the country.
That's a wonderful thing.
Is that seriously? That's
what I want to do.
That's something I wish. Yeah, I'd like to do that. I love traveling in an RV. Love it.
Yeah.
But that in 2 years, that's it. You're done.
Yeah, two and change.
Okay, 2 and 7 years.
Yeah. 4 score.
So you asked the longest time I've spent at home.
Yeah. Oh, and Gina, by the way, said not only does his wife exist, but she's a beautiful woman.
Thank you. Very nice of you to say.
Wow. So yeah, how long?
It's various times. I'm going to say probably was when I was out on workers' comp when I couldn't do anything.
That's right. Yeah.
That was about it. But like we're traveling. And the reason my wife isn't here now, she went to Arizona and she couldn't take off too much time. Go back for a day and then take off for another week.
Yeah.
So we're going to St. Thomas. We're going to Texas in September, beginning and the end of the month. We're going to see Billy in Texas.
Oh, really?
Yep. And then we're going to come back. And then And then we're going to Puerto Rico.
Oh, wow.
My home country. Well,
yeah. So then we got to tone it down for a while.
I'm Irish Puerto Rican.
Yeah. So what is? Yeah, I was going to ask. What is Pratt's? Is that?
My grandmother was born in Spain, then moved to Puerto Rico. Married a Puerto Rican guy. Came to East Harlem. Had 11 kids.
Oh wow!
No wonder they don't have time to travel.
You know what's funny?
Moly.
11. My dad grew up in East Harlem, and there was one day he goes off. This is like 8. He goes off to school, and he comes home. No one's there. They moved, and no one told him. Out of 10 kids, no one could say, well, she just wanted to move to a freshly painted apartment, my grandmother.
But they, picked up and split while he was at school?
It's like, are you paying attention to that,
Weren't they packing, the night before?
Yeah, I know. It's like Home Alone, the ghetto version. But finally, neighbors said, oh, no, Louis, they're upstairs. So he found them, but...
Oh, same building?
Same building.
Oh, that's...
Oh, yeah, that's got to be a hell of a thing.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine how scared he must be. Holy crap.
I know, right?
I had no idea there was Spanish blood in you. I thought you were...
Yeah, fiery Latino.
Fiery.
Until he told me that I didn't know that, other than when we talked on Facebook. I had no idea.
I had no idea. I don't see it at all.
Stealth Puerto Rican.
Stealth Puerto Rican, right. Wow.
Well, I don't pick up any of those traits. You don't point with your lips. You don't have
I know, right?
You don't have pointy shoes. And I can say that because I have my...
Let me see if I can find a picture of my family.
My wife's Hispanic. I'm sure if you knew that.
How would I know that? I've never seen her.
Read the screen where people are commenting. She is.
No, I believe she exists.
She's a New Yorican, though.
What is it? A what?
New Yorican.
New Yorican? Like
Puerto Rican born in New York.
Right.
Because when we go to Puerto Rico, people swear that I'm Hispanic. I'll blend. I just go in there, and her grandmother in Bayshore, where my wife lived, was sitting at the table one day, and she's rattling off, and I don't want to be rude. I got no idea what she's saying. So I'm sitting there and I'm just eating, and so she asked me, she says, which is my cute answer. So I went, Just point my lips, shook my finger in my head, and I went back to eating. She said, and that's okay. I go and eat, and then there was leftover Chinese food, so I took regular white rice, put it on a plate, put butter, salt, and pepper, and started eating it. Here, hey, Tommy, what's he doing? She said, oh, you know, and she's like, he's white, Grandma. She's like, no boricua? He spoke Spanish to me.
My mother and father with my Titi Alicia and Uncle Red.
Oh, yeah. See who that is?
Oh, nice, yeah.
My mother's the one next to Red.
Oh, yeah?
And my Titi Alicia's down in the end.
Yeah, I knew, yeah.
So you can see the Spanish in them. I can't see it.
I don't think you got it. Oh, I'm looking up here.
My dad and his sister are next to each other.
And then, of course, the one on the, let's see, right there. I don't know if you guys can see who that is, but I'll try to get in closer. But we've talked about that on here, right?
Years ago, yeah.
Years ago, yeah. Yeah, he's what, your uncle, was it?
Yeah, my father's sister married him.
Red Buttons. We're here on a comedy show in a comedy club. Comedy legend, Red Buttons.
Yep.
Was was Lou's uncle. How long has he been gone?
2006.
Oh, that's it?
Oh. Yeah.
I thought it was longer.
Nah.
Oh.
I mean, his career died like
a lot earlier than that.
Love Boat and Fantasy Island, like the rest of them. Like him and Diane Cannon and all those other 70s stars.
Diane Cannon was hot though in her day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Morgan Fairchild.
Did you ever, and you did spend time with him, right?
Years, yeah, when I was younger.
Yeah.
He had an apartment in the city.
Nice.
Upper West Side.
See that? You should have stayed in touch with him. You could have met Red Buttons.
He could have come with me and met everybody else. That is still alive.
Did I'll start with Lou. Did you work in as a court officer? Court officer, not bailiff.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Were you ever
fight in my parish?
Ever involved in or a part of any? I know I lost the signal. I'm trying to get it back.
It only happens with me. One time we did a half a show with no audio.
Really?
It didn't come out in the video. Yeah.
Yes. No, those days are gone. It's just little things like this.
What, you're not stealing cable from the guy next door now? It's
No.
actually a legit hookup?
Once in a while things work well in here. Yeah. You ever been, involved with like a famous case that we would know about, or are you allowed to talk about stuff like that?
Now I'm retired. I can say
Well, you are, yeah, but I don't know.
In the Bronx, we had Flavor Flav in there.
Oh wow.
And
met him too.
Oh, did you?
I don't remember
Vegas.
Rod Strickland. You ever hear him? Basketball? No. Anyway, him, Paul White, the Giant, the wrestler.
Okay.
Oh, right. Yeah. Big show.
He's fucking huge.
Yeah.
Shook his
He
hand.
passed, right?
It looked like a little baby hand.
That's because he assaulted some guy at a fan or something.
Yes, yeah.
I remember that when he's in front of Nassau Coliseum.
That's Nassau, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Lindsay Lohan's mother, Lindsay Lohan's father, Lindsay Lohan's sibling.
Oh wow.
All of them. It's good to see families do things together.
But what's the? I'm going to ask. So actually, I'll let you tell us. Any famous cases that you were
cases,
like, a person.
Lou would be dealing with the people, going through the court system.
Right.
Where I worked in a prison, if they're doing a year and a day or up to death row, we didn't have death row at my place, but.
Yeah, there's a prison.
They're already sentenced. It's not like in the county jail where everybody wants to buff up and they got to fight everybody because nobody knows each other. These guys, they're doing on an average of 20 years, and they got to live next to this guy, so they really got to pick their battles. It happens.
It's like the college of prison.
Exactly.
People that we know, like
one that comes to mind. I'm not going to say a last name so we don't drag it, but there's someone named Magic Mike, the real. Magic Mike. And I just knew of all the media hype. I had no idea what it was. And basically, he was a real ass.
Oh, yeah.
And he came down and he got out and he had a violation of probation. And so they put him back in to finish out a sentence. And then I told him to do something. He felt of who he was. He didn't have to. And I came back and it wasn't done. I said, hey, I told you to do this. And he just kind of strutted past me, and I said, "Come back here." I made him do what I had to do, and he didn't like it. I could see that, but he's got to think: is he going to, have problems with me? And he just wants to do his time and get out. And it wasn't anything crazy. I could ask you to do it, whoever. And so, you know who that was? No, I have no idea. So they told me, "Oh, this is who it is." And I said, "Oh." So the next day, I see in the chow hall, And I stopped my comedy routine. Again, a whole bunch of inmates in a chow hall. I said, man, the other day, I want to just apologize for what I said to you. This is what I'm telling you. And he's kind of just, all smirky. I realized I did not know that I was in the celebrity status here. I just want to let you know I am totally starstruck. I'm going to go home today and tell my wife I was standing next to one of the Village people. And everybody just busted out laughing. And, he felt about this big. And then, he went through life, and I don't know what happened. I don't really care.
Yeah, right.
There was people that I have seen in other prisons, because I worked in Daytona. But I with the hostage stuff, I would be all over. So I would see this. I actually did something with the feds. Everybody, their brother was at this thing for a big, massive training session. I actually saw Whitey Bulger.
Ooh, wow.
Coleman Correction.
Yeah.
And they said, anybody want to take
Prison
a tour?
royalty right there.
Yeah, so I started. We were just walking around, and he just happened to be in a day room, and I went. And they go, that's Whitey Bulger. I said, oh.
Yeah.
And somebody else that I had met once or
That's
twice,
cool.
high profile, New York City police officer that's doing federal time.
Volpe. Volpe?
How the hell did he know that?
I fucking know.
Who? But I don't know who that is. Who?
Justin Volpe.
Justin Volpe.
Who's that?
Guy who, Abner Williams, stick in the ass.
Oh, okay.
And
right.
I know another police
Yeah,
officer.
that is weird that he guessed that.
Is it weird? I got this. I don't know what the hell.
Wow. I'm at a
weird.
loss for words. That was so. Anyway, when it was all going down, another friend of mine, police officer at the time, and he introduced me to him, and he told me he told my friend, he was just talking in my presence, and he just said, "Man, I didn't do what they said I did.
Really?
I didn't do that."
But they all say it, don't they? Yeah.
But this is, these are, you have that thing. It's like, man, you make a mistake. If you were on the job, and I say, man, I really screwed up. Shut your mouth, and we're gonna get through this. And there's a support system. So he's, man, I didn't do this. But he looked my friend in the eye and basically told him, I didn't do this. I don't know why they're saying this. And da da da. Next thing you know, he pleads out to it, and he's over there. And I was like,
I remember when that happened.
and even then, because I was on a list for NYPD back in the day, I worked at a group home with someone last name of Volpe, one of the clients. And his father was a transit officer, and because I worked with his son, he says, you're on a list, let me know, and I'll see what I can do for you, blah, blah. And it's his nephew.
Oh, wow.
So that's weird that way, but it's even weird that you kind of shook me that you knew that name. And we haven't seen 39 years? Wow. Wow.
There's a kinship going on.
No, that was a freaky thing, like he picked my brain out of there. Yeah.
Psychic. Rocket is asking, who is Magic Mike?
There was a movie made about it.
Yeah. With
Before I have a liability issue.
Yeah, right.
Channing Tatum, is that it?
Yes, that's it, yes.
That's not who it was, but that was who was.
No, yeah.
What's the, I'll go back to Lou again. What's the worst thing that ever happened in a court? Like, did you have to...
Probably, fight-wise?
Yeah.
There's fights all the time in the Bronx. It's like 3 days a week at least.
Do you ever, and I'll ask both of you, whether it's court or just in the jails, like, are you able to, like, do you get used to some of the horror stories?
Yes.
Or things you don't see, you just really hear a lot of things, right?
It's funny to see, reading the paper, and you hear about what happened. Then you see the actual guy, like Colin Ferguson. You see the actual person who did it. This evil.
Oh, so you were in the courtroom with him?
And Joel Rifkin was before I got there.
I know went to school with him.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Actually, I know. Right, he was East Meadow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know some people that knew him too.
Right in front of the courthouse, up in Mineola.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he was last.
Yeah, that was awful, man. I remember that like it was yesterday, man. That was awful.
Now, there's a lot of I see a different flip side of the coin. First of all, I had an odd sense of humor to begin with. This has just made it totally off the charts. So if something's bad, I have to make light of it, because if I'm not laughing, I'd be crying with something.
Absolutely.
In all honesty,
sure.
No bullshit, straight up. It will eat the. It's not for everybody. And like I said, probably I wouldn't have been able to deal with a lot of it if it wasn't for my father at the breakfast table going, because his big thing was, see my uniform? You're going to end up wearing it one day. I'm not doing this. I'm going to throw a Frisbee after working Pathmark for the rest of my life. I'm not thinking about this.
Right, yeah.
He says, Over here, that's your department's name. And when you put this shirt on, this is my name. And you never disrespect either for anybody.
Wow.
That was his thing. That always stayed with me. The worst thing one of the worst things, but if not at the top, is a murder of a coworker.
Oh, no kidding.
Female.
Really?
Yes. She was an extremely nice lady, very supportive of me when I was going to college and while I was working. And she was murdered by an inmate.
Oh, man.
Right there. Didn't have to happen, but it did. It's unfortunate. That one shook me. It shook everybody.
Yeah.
I was not directly involved in it because I was working nights at a satellite location, and it was so weird because it happened in Daytona. I had to work at midnight. It was my birthday time. My family wanted to take me out, and I said, as long as I'm in bed by 8 o'clock, that's fine. We're going to Red Lobster, Daytona, right along the strip. Prison's very close to that. It happened. They discovered it about 7:30. We're on the road. We just got on I-4, so the emergency vehicles came from the other. Right after that, I go home and go to bed.
Yeah.
And what I used to do was I would watch TV, the news. I would take a shower, put on my uniform while I'm doing that, and then I'd go out the door. Well, I had rented a movie from Blockbuster, and I didn't see the last 15 minutes. And my wife, I hear from, take back that movie. I'm like, yeah, take it back. It's 3 days late. Take it back. So, okay. So
I've had library books for 40 years. Shut up.
This is nothing. I'm keeping
my nose at Blockbuster.
So
my
I watch the movie. I get dressed. Out the door I go. I go to Blockbuster. I throw it in. I am oblivious to what happened. When I got off the exit, the sea of lights, I'm like, what the hell is going on? So I went to the satellite thing. I thought it was an accident at first because they were just rerouting the traffic and sifting out who needed to be there and who didn't. And I got to work, and the guy I was relieving, there's usually two. There's only one. He's behind the computer like this, and I walked in, and he's typing away, and I said, what's up? And he's like, oh, there's a problem. I'm not sure, blah, blah, blah. And I was at work for the next 48 hours. The first thing I did is I called my wife because it's going to hit the news. I called my wife and I said, I am fine. I'm going to be here. Just know I'm safe. And because my father died as a result of an injury in prison, so you never want that phone call. So
really? Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awful.
But this, like you said, this fight's every day. I've seen a dude that got stabbed, disrespected him or something, stabbed him, and I could see into his heart. I saw that wound was so
really
saw his heart.
Wow.
Creepy.
Yeah.
What's your take from a few months ago when that the corrections officer freed the guy and they ran off together?
Oh God. Yeah.
Well, first of all, when I watched that video, there was more violations in the first 10 seconds.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely. If I was the control room sergeant, and it's not going to be like, oh, I'm better than anybody else. I'm talking about what your core training is and what you know right and wrong. The minute she came to me and said, I'm taking so-and-so someplace, where's your escort?
Yeah.
Where's your escort? That's
you would never travel one-on-one.
Never.
Right.
And armed, because there's always one armed and one handler.
Okay.
Always. Yeah. Because if you have to get into it, same thing with the court. The guy's standing right behind him. Exactly.
Right.
So even at the hospital, there's always one guy that's dealing with him with a taser and another guy that's got the firearm that keeps the distance.
But is it the...
She would have never left at that Sallie port. I didn't care. I had to call the governor. She was not leaving.
No, she was what, a week away from returement or something, or a month
that
away?
That
day,
or something? She was
retired. Oh, was that day?
Oh
my goodness.
It's like, why would you...
So she's been there. So she's there for a number of years.
Very respected.
Right. But now the prisoner, I believe, was there for a long time too, if I'm not mistaken.
He had gotten out. He was somewhere else, and then he managed to finagle himself back there so they could do that.
Right.
He was getting extra food and extra privileges. Everybody takes notice of that because everybody's watching everybody.
Sure. But is it?
Could that be misconstrued as snitching, or something like that? Like getting extras here and there? Would they think you're an informer?
It could be, but if you know that she's just being friendly, the first thing I'm looking for and I'm going to say with females, the first thing that I noticed with the female, and I saw a lot with nurses. The minute that they start putting on perfume and makeup, you're on my radar.
Right, yeah.
You are absolutely on my radar.
That makes sense.
The guys, when something's up, like when I first started, there was someone that was in the class ahead of me by a couple of weeks, and they could smoke on the compound and walk around. They have their walk around time, so we'd be positioned, we'd have to move. And I saw a young guy, the inmate came out the door, and the CO was lighting his own cigarette, and the inmate walked up to him and he went and lit his cigarette. That to me would be a warning sign right there.
How the hell is an inmate lighting a cigarette?
Well, they could smoke in Florida then.
Okay.
So when the inmate came out with a cigarette that he bought at the canteen, this guy was lighting his cigarette. He just walked up, said something, and then he says he just put the lighter and lit his cigarette for him. That to me is a red flag. You know, and then the same officer is getting, the inmate would go to the canteen and come back and give him a soda and chips. No.
Right. But is it, and this may be a weird question, but again, I know nothing about this. Is there any level of understanding when you see a guard and a prisoner like end up with feelings for each other, because they do spend a lot of time together? So is there any level of understanding like that?
They do, but there's so many things wrong with that.
I agree, but again, from complete outside, I didn't know if you guys saw it differently. I'm thinking, this is crazy.
Yeah.
But again, maybe it's not. Maybe you guys see some kind of normalcy.
I always try with the training that I've had and what I've heard from experience, because I talk to people, senior people, and I used to say to myself, you would tell me something, and I'd be like, that's the thing I learned today. And then I would turn around and I may say, Lou, and I teach him. So I learned one thing, I gave one thing. And I would try to do that multiple times a day. Now, people say, oh, he's kissing ass, or he just want. You know what, though? I did pretty well for myself, and I came out, I think, more knowledgeable than when I went in.
Sure.
There are people that I know that got involved, officer and inmate, or instance that we find out that when the guy gets out, the officer who still works there is living with the former inmate.
Wow.
Unreal.
2 dudes.
Unreal.
Oh, wow.
Then we had one where the police were called because they got to respond to a scene where a woman was assaulted. Come to find out she's a working corrections officer, where I worked. And her boyfriend came and slapped her across the face, asked her for money, and took her car and sped off. Turns out it's the inmate that just got released she used to supervise.
Jeez.
You hear that? Yeah. That was her career that just went into the crap.
Right?
Now, I don't know about anybody else that's worked in this field or anything. What can an inmate provide you with that basically owns what the canteen he has in his locker and the clothes on his back?
Love.
You said did you experience that? Or? Yeah, there's nothing in the world. And there was
I've met a lot of hookers.
Once upon a time, we had in the library, they have civilians that work the library, and there was a girl that worked there, and she was visibly pregnant when I had gotten there, and she was kind of shy, but she would talk to some officers coming and going, and they said, oh, well, the one guy kidding around says, what do you do? And she said, oh, not more than a month, but probably 3 weeks. He said, oh, that's great. You pick out a name, and they would talk, and just joking around. He says, you have state benefits, right? She's like, oh yeah, I do. And well, it's good. You got coverage for the baby and whatnot. My husband has coverage too. She's well, great. Since you're under the state insurance, when they test your amniotic fluid, they're going to match it against the inmate database for DNA. The woman resigned the next day.
Wow.
Holy crap!
Do they really?
I said, what? She resigned. She did. She left.
Yeah.
They do that though?
No. It was a joke. He's just messing her up,
That's funny.
Called her bluff and it worked. Yeah.
He just said it off the cuff. And they called him into the office like, failure to report. What did you? He's like, I was kidding. I talked to this. I work a post near the library. We talk all the time.
Holy shit.
Yeah. And she resigned.
Oh my God.
And back in the day, they didn't prosecute or anything. They just let you resign because they don't want, don't start me in the Florida Department of Corrections. Do not start me again there.
What happened with us, we had this judge, arrogant prick, like a silver spoon in his mouth, just grew up privileged. And we had a prisoner come in for arraignment, and he had no shirt on because he was arrested like that. And the judge, he had like a paper thing. I guess you guys get out the paper.
Yeah, the little paint suit.
He wanted him to have a jacket. So the judge takes his jacket, says, here, put this on him, take him back, put this on him, and we'll do the arraignment. So they give this guy, the prisoner, the jacket, and the corrections officers, when they took it off him, they filled his pockets with bologna sandwiches and shit. The jacket reeked when he got it back.
And it's good for pranks though too. I mean, I got some people really, really good.
Yeah.
And I've heard of some stuff that it just but probably isn't even appropriate for this radio. But you have those little chuckles to yourself, and you pass them on. But what we getting back to earlier, if you don't make light of the situation, it'll eat you up.
Yep.
Well, and I guess, we were joking about, your freedom and traveling, but I guess that's a nice
outlet.
And then the same with you with comedy.
Yeah.
It's a nice balance, I guess.
Yes, definitely.
And you're
Plus, Brian loves it, so
he loves the comedy too.
Comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure this is right.
Always wants to go to shows.
Yeah. Okay. And you're actually doing a show tonight, right?
No.
Oh, you're not?
No. Next one's August 5th.
Oh, August 5th is the next one for you?
With Terry.
Oh, Terry McNeely.
Yeah.
We're in the Giggle Room.
Yep.
Right? I don't know why I thought it was tonight. Okay.
Supposed to be somewhere.
Yeah, right. Imagine.
Wow. That's a. Now I'd be on the fence with Richie or Lou. Maybe I can do both.
Right.
This is at 7.
Well, Richie doesn't even start till when?
10 now. They backed it up. Thank God.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
How come?
I don't know. I mean, he's got a slew of a line of people. Have you been to that?
I actually haven't. I'm dying to get over there.
Where?
Today.
I'm sorry?
Richie Canada, who was Billy Joel's original sax player.
Oh, okay.
He plays on most of Billy Joel's hits. He does a thing at the Bitter End in the city. It's called there's Monday Night Jam, and it's just
open mic.
Yeah, it's like an open mic, so any musician can just show up and play with him. But no, I haven't been.
I'll bring my bagpipes.
Yeah. He'll take it. He'll take
I've
it.
had
it's a good time.
His guitar player Jim Moran has been in here with me. I got to get him back in here, but yeah, he's great. And Andy Plagano says, yeah, Brian was laughing super hard during Rob White's set on Saturday.
He loves Rob, yeah.
Oh yeah,
Mexican midgets juggling chainsaws. He loses his shit.
Where was that?
Brian, where did we see Rob?
Katie's.
Katie's, that's right, in Smithtown. You know Katie's, right? Oh, it's a bar in Smithtown. Right by the train station.
Okay.
In Smithtown. When you go under the bridge.
I know
it's
what
like
you're
right
talking
there.
about. Oh,
I forgot
okay.
what it used to be called years ago. So it's gone through some name changes.
Yeah, so August 5th, that's your next one?
Yeah.
But yeah, it must be a nice way to offset some of the ugliness, right?
Yeah.
Doing the comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, you have to have a...
People, when I say something to somebody, and if they don't, if I'm talking to you and somebody, you're like, oh my God, what did he say? And then it just jump starts me because I'll be like, oh, you can't. What is some of the stuff you've seen in prison, or what about this guy that took somebody hostage and took this and that? And I'll be like, oh, you want to see a neat little trick? You got a coffee filter, a cup, and some hand sanitizer. Yeah, you got a little piece of fruit or some juice. Oh, Lou, let me get a little cranberry juice. So pour that in the bottom of the cup. You put the coffee filter in it. You put your hand sanitizer in it, and then you take salt and sprinkle it over it. It separates the alcohol from the gel. Now you got yourself a nice cranberry cocktail.
Really? They are so freaking clever, these prisoners.
How are you not up on that? Oh, I brought so much cranberry juice to inmates.
Toilet wine.
They called it buck in Florida.
Buck?
But anyway, sometimes where he'll go for the laugh, and I just see the people go, oh my God, I would have never thought of that. And,
he's a funny guy.
Yeah.
I thought he was funny in 7th grade. I can imagine that. But see, the difference is now I have to pay to see it.
Yeah, right. Were you not surprised to hear that he was a comedian? Were you like, holy shit, yeah, he was funny back then?
I was like, when I first, because you didn't have a picture, I saw the name. I said, yeah. Because it was back in 7th grade. Do you remember Kerry Chamberlain?
Yep.
Kevin Casey?
Yep.
Okay, so when I was coming out of my shell, we were, like the Three Musketeers, we were the Three Perverteers.
I don't know where this is going.
No, it's just, stupid, junior high school kid crap, and we would just bounce off each other with the stuff. And,
yeah, you did.
There's a victim, and so some of them took it a little bit to the extreme that Shy Tim was. They would think nothing about, sitting behind some girl in a classroom, grabbing their bra strap and pulling it back to snapping it. That wasn't me. That was not me.
Me and Carrie used to talk martial arts all the time. He was training in karate in Northport.
The last time I saw Kerry Chamberlain, he was an extremely large guy, and then he dropped. And he had to tell when he saw me like in 10th grade, he was like, "It's Kerry." I'm like, "Kerry, whoa!"
I know.
Whoa! Yeah. It was great, but I didn't know he was doing the march. But he lost a significant amount of weight. I'm guessing between 8th and 10th grade, there was a tremendous increase. I don't know where those guys are. Last time
Kevin,
I saw
I have no idea. My mother was friends with his mother, and it's a mystery what happened with that guy. I don't even know. Kevin Casey just like disappeared.
Yeah. Well, there's another guy that got out of Kingsport.
Yeah,
that's
we
the
don't
second
know where
guy.
he is.
That's the second guy. But there's people because like I said, I spied his friends list. I'm like, oh, how's this one doing? How's that one doing? Da, 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 da.
I spied his friend list.
Yeah. I didn't reach out.
Scares me
Prison
sometimes.
lingo.
Yep.
What was that story you told? I think it was. I don't know if it was the last time. It might have been the time you were here with Captain Jack. There was something with some of the prisoners escaped or something.
From my place?
Did you ever?
Yeah, wasn't it?
There was an attempted escape.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking
I
of.
should have brought those pictures. Because I remember I was going to do that the last time. I had so much crap to bring up this time. My suitcase is basically going home empty. I'll have to find it. What it was is we were having an inspection from the state, so they were coming from everywhere. And we had the inmates cleaning more intensely than they should, and they were polishing. They're called Folger Adams locks. They're those big brass keys.
Oh,
you see?
sure.
The
Yeah.
locks are like this. I'm sure you have them too. So they're polishing. They're doing this and and they're called T dorms. So these guys. It's like shaped like a T, 2 levels, and they're locked in their cells at night. And then you have one that's floor sweeping or a runner or whatnot. So they're really going at it. The COs are they're getting, one guy's in the bubble, can see everything. And the next thing you know, it's time, to lock down for the night. Okay. Well, the next day, they come out and they see this huge sheet blowing on the back fence. And the night before, the alarm was going off all night to the point where they just shut it down. And then they looked, and there was all the crutches wrapped in the sheets like a ladder going over the top. They had rebar like grappling hooks, and they threw it over the top. They took boondockers. They made mittens so they could pull down the wire.
Prisoners are so clever.
And then you've got microwaves in between, which was going on. And then the posters driving around. And then there was footprints all in the dirt around it. And the first person did their checks and said everything was good. The incoming sergeant saw, what? They call it in, emergency count, da-da-da-da. Those guys never got out because the crutches were breaking. But they followed the footprints, and they went right back up to the T dorms. And the way they got back into the dorms, when they got out, because they took apart the Folger Adams lock, so all the guts were out. So you could turn it with they were melting a comb, and they fit it, and they got in there. So they got out down the fire escape to the back of the building. Okay, it's the middle of the night. And when Chow was returning in the morning, everybody's in front of the dorms. They just blended right back in, but the dirt on the ground followed them right up to the thing. Then they got the dogs, and some of the dogs went right to the cells. They transferred a whole bunch of people, big investigation, and then a week later, because the inspection was canceled after that.
Right.
A week after that, they're looking up an event, and they pull it down, and they found an additional 67 bed sheets made into lanyards. Braided together.
Who's charging inventory?
Exactly.
right.
67 bed sheets are missing, and you find that I'm going over every inch of that thing.
Yeah.
And they went up through a pipe chase also, and then they went out the air conditioning vents down and then shimmied down the building.
Jeez.
A lot of people got busted for that, and they came and got the warden in the middle of the week and said, "Whoop, you're out of here." And usually what happens, they get demoted, they keep the same pay, and then in 2 years they're right back to where they were. So
Yeah.
right. It's but if that had been any of us, they'd have had the trial the next day, and that'd have been it.
It was funny in the courts. Whenever a judge fucks up, they crack down on the staff.
Right.
Like nothing happens to the guys who did the offense, but everyone else is all right. You got to do this now and that, and it's like, wait, he's the one who's taking money from the attorney, not me.
Yeah.
But
further in that case, I was at a satellite place, but I had to qualify at the range, or I was helping with the range, or something like that. I think it was the assistant range guy. And visitation. This happened on a Sunday night, and when I was coming back with the weapons, we had to wait for the parking lot to be clear, and we were walking back into the main building. When I drove my personal car, because the weapons were in another, I was just coming back. There was a van, and a guy went past me in the back seat with a long lens camera, and when I went by, he was just taking pictures of the car. Someone else was driving, and I saw that, and I said, "Oh no!" And I turned around, and I go after him. And then when they saw me turn around, they gunned it. They're going down this dirt road, and I zoom up on him and say, "Well, wait a minute, was that a weapon or is that a camera? What the hell am I doing?" So I just took my cell phone, snapped a whole bunch of pictures of the license plate, backed off, and reported it. That was Sunday night. Well, I had to work midnight, so I had to be out of there by 4. I go home, go to sleep. I report the incident. No big deal. They've got it for information. And then I go to the work release center, and our freezer had broken down. So I had to call to the main unit. They had to take our food and bring it to the main unit. So I think with that back and forth unscheduled thing, that may have been something that held them up.
Okay.
And I think. But it was just too coincidental that, the alarm going off after they finished, that's...
I love range day.
The story I'm thinking of, wasn't it some kind of, maybe not a hostage situation, but there was some kind of negotiations. Weren't the prisoners were out already, and then somehow somebody mixed in with somebody else, and they managed to get out or something? No?
Is this in that show, Prison Break?
No.
It's just a great episode. You got to see it.
The thing when you talk about the gathering in the yard, a guy had walked up the handball court because it was angled up to the top, and there's 4 courts, 2 on each side. He went to the top, and he's not coming down until he gets whatever. And they got him to come down. But I'm trying to think. Jacka, if you're listening, please call in and refresh us because I'm at a loss here. We've had they changed out. Are you talking about in Arizona? And with the hostage thing, and I reached out to the people years later, and we made a TV show and an investigation discovery called Hostage Do or Die.
No, that doesn't even ring a bell to me.
That's where they changed out uniforms and they were trying to get out. And
that happened?
Oh yeah, Officer Lois. I'm not going to say her last name. She was taking
Lane.
it wasn't Lane. She was taking She was a tower officer along with a new guy, and they gained access to the control tower, which you had to pass under to get to outside. And they gave him a beat down. They did unspeakable things to her, beat him up.
Oh, that actually might be what I'm thinking of. Actually,
yeah,
now you
that
say
happened. And she was released, I believe, during the Super Bowl of 2004, or 3. But she was. There's a episode on a project I worked on called on Investigation Discovery. It came out in December of 2011. Hostage Do or Die.
That is
15
cool.
Days in
That.
Hell. There's also a book. So if anybody wants a copy of the book, you can reach out to Tony and we'll make that happen for you. But my mentor, NYPD Detective Dominic Messina, who's since passed in 2013, he took me under his wing, and I brought what he gave me to the Florida Department of Corrections. And I was reaching out to these people. I was researching old stories because I wanted to use that for training just in the prison system. And when I hooked up with Dominic, he retired, I believe, in 95, and he was working on the thing, and they said, we like some of your shows, but we need something a little bit more recent. And some of Dominic's thing, all I did was make a PowerPoint presentation. And they made it into a damn TV show, which baffled me. Nice. But, there was only 6 episodes. It was a fill-in, and we were supposed to get re-upped for season 2, but Dominic became ill, and that didn't happen. But
usually in the courts, we don't have such elaborate escapes. Usually it's just someone's not paying attention.
Right, complacency.
And someone takes advantage of it and runs out of the courtroom.
Yeah, it's they're always looking for that little chink in the armor and how they're going to take advantage of it.
Sure.
I'm sure he's found contraband and we've certainly found contraband. How the hell did they get that in you? And you know how they got it in there? Staff, either security staff, nurses.
So that's a fairly regular thing
all the time.
That's crazy to me. Wow, man!
You got to think about this, though. I mean,
and what kind of things are we talking about? Like
weapons, phones, dope.
Jeez. I mean, phones and dope, I can understand because it's small.
They were using drones. I got a picture.
Drones.
Yeah, drones.
They fly them over to prison. They boop, and there was something big that just got traveled. A whole bunch of meth, a bunch of phones, chargers. They had pigeons that were being trained with. They give it this to Skelly. They don't put the DC number. They give it to Skelly. They teach the birds to fly over little G.I. Joe backpacks to fly over the fence and drop it.
Come on!
I got pictures and video of this, man. I'm gonna have to send this.
But the lower the tech, more.
Yeah, but isn't it? Doesn't somebody spot this?
Yeah,
thing
but it's already dropped. If it's going, it's a full yard full of inmates.
Yeah.
Plop,
You
and
don't
then
know who grabbed it,
you got 800 inmates out in the yard. And one tower officer sees, you may see the package drop. Yeah. What's the chances you're going to find it? They probably already got the whole dug out there.
But all right, so let's say let's say it's a phone,
plural. They're not dropping 1; they're dropping 10.
All right, I find 10.
That much effort.
But how do they know who set it up? Like what 10 inmates are getting that phone, or is it just like it's random?
No. It's one guy.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's got a network, and he's basically, they used to just rent, they have one phone, and they would prepaid 1,500 minutes.
Okay.
And they see it's got 1,500 minutes, and they're charging you $50 a minute, and they give it to you. Okay? You give it back, and you've been on the phone 10 minutes. You know, now if you don't pay, there's a VIG put on top of that. And it's usually Canteen or doing whatever.
You've seen prison movies. There's always that guy who I can get you whatever.
Exactly.
No, I get that. I'm saying, but that's what I'm asking. When the phones land,
right?
Like
there's a guy, whoever gets it gets a reward for getting it to Skelly.
Oh, so
There's
everybody
always,
knows.
Everybody's getting a piece.
Yeah.
But there's only a handful of guys that say, hey, we're going to hang out over here. It may be a football game, and we need a fight to distract everybody over there. Boom.
Okay.
Or it's outside the fence, and the work squad is bringing it in because they're raking and doing whatever.
I think
And
so whoever is kind of like catching a bouquet in a way. Like you don't know who's getting it, but you get it.
Good point.
Right, but the inmates know who's getting.
Oh yeah,
it. That's what I'm
they
asking.
They got a code name. It's going to Skelly, and if you
Right.
mess that package up, there's 20 people that watch that box full.
Yeah.
And Joe picked it up. Well, Joe has to get word to Skelly that he's got it. And Joe
if he
gets
doesn't, he's in
exactly.
deep shit. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. Okay.
And here's the other thing too. I was seeing and I was hearing a lot more in North Florida. You go to visitation, you're visiting your significant other, and I'm over here like this, and I don't know you, but I'm giving a message to relay to you. And basically, what I tell you and your girl or wife, whatever, listen, you got to bring something in for him, and he's got problems. He owes.
Jeez.
You know.
Yeah.
So now she's got it. She's in a loop.
Do not want to owe.
And then they turn around. And whether you pay or not is up to you. But the thing is, they get a cell phone in there. They will send a ransom to your family. We're going to kick his ass right here and now. Unless you said, next picture, if the money don't show up at the next visitation, he's a bloody pile on the floor. And they're videotaping this. Send it to your family.
Holy crap.
Oh, it's a fucked up world. Yeah, it really is.
Mm-hmm.
I got nothing. I don't know.
See?
I don't know what to say to that. Yeah. Wow.
See, that was the release for you. You got your little shock value there.
Well, that's always the fun part of having you in here.
You need an opening act?
That's a great opening act for a comedy show.
Yeah,
Let me tell you about murder and bloody mess.
The only murder I said was about my coworker.
Well,
but just
true,
the
true.
stupid.
Let me tell you about inmates beating each other up.
And sending pictures to your family for
Yeah.
no pay.
And now here's Lou Pratt.
So I have a question for you, Lou.
Phone in the yard the other day.
First of all, I want to say how in shock I was yesterday when I went to the bagel place because, first of all, I could not any bagel place because I was going to a friend's house for a social gathering, and I said I got to get because they said we're going to get bagels in the morning. You know, just come on by. I said okay, and I said you know what? My wife said get a newspaper. So I went to go find the Newsday. The first two places, they go, we don't do newspapers anymore. They're all digital.
Yeah.
I said, it just never occurred to me. I saw, here's a bagel place. They got to have one. So I pull in there, and it just so happens the host was in there picking up the bagels at the same place. And I said, no, I just came to get a paper. I can't find one. I picked up a Newsday and a drink, and I went to the counter. And it was $7 damn.
It's fucking ridiculous.
It was
I
$5
know.
for a friggin' Newsday on
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah.
Yep.
Used to be $1.
Crazy.
I would deliver them. They were like
Crazy.
35 cents. You know? So, anyway, I was reading, just sitting around waiting for my buddy to come, so we go out to dinner. I'm telling him the thing about the comics on
Yeah.
Long Island. Here, specifically.
It's funny you say that because I went to 3 7-Elevens yesterday trying to find a Newsday because they had
Yeah.
a big
Are you in
story
there?
about
No.
comics.
But you know
and
what
I-
I'm talking about?
Yeah.
I couldn't even
I know
find
you're
it.
talking about. I
So,
can't
do you have
remember
any
who it was.
fear
Sean-
about getting slapped by
Oh,
someone?
I have no fear. I'm
Okay.
waiting. You know you made it when you slapped on stage.
Oh, is that what that was a story in
Well,
this
they
article?
said there was a
Somebody got
concern
slapped in the
that Will
face.
Smith got away with it.
Yeah.
Now, these guys, they're worried about that. You know.
Well, because it happened to
Chris Rock.
Chappelle. Then
Oh, yeah.
it happened to him. He was performing and somebody ran up and got him. But I remember at the time there were maybe 3 people in here had said, "Yeah, I'm
Supposedly
concerned about
Tugboat
it."
Manny got chased with a knife once.
What?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, I never heard
years
that.
ago.
Who's that?
I was
A
a comedian
Oh, I
named
didn't catch the name. That's why.
Tugboat Manny. Yeah, that's his. See, there are other people with code names too. You're not the only
Yeah.
one. I was actually doing one of my murder mysteries. Shit, this has got to be probably 12, 13, 14 years ago. Where I come out and I start the show. And I'm out there by myself. It was a Halloween thing, so people were in costumes and stuff. I'm out there for not even 5 minutes. The show just started. There's a guy dressed as a pirate, and he's already smashed out of his mind. He gets up, he's coming at me, and he's got a sword, and he's pointing at me.
real sword.
Well, that's the thing. So I'm joking around with him, and I grabbed it, and I was like, "Whoa!" I go, "That's a real sword."
Yeah.
But he's now coming at me, and I have a room full of audience, and I'm like, anybody with this guy? Can somebody? And he's coming at me with the sword. He literally backed me up into a wall with everybody watching. Nobody got up to do anything.
Right,
We don't up the ratings.
Exactly.
Yeah. He put, and I had to move out of the way. He put a little dent in the wall with his sword.
Unreal.
I was like, what? And I was so pissed. It ruined my performance. I got mad at the owner because turns out this guy was a friend of the owner of the restaurant we were at. She was so drunk that she didn't. The owner, she was so drunk that she didn't seem to care about it. We never went back there again. We didn't have a good show because I was so pissed off.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I was so mad. Yeah, it was a bad night. But I to this day I still can't believe that even happened.
Jeez.
But yeah, I mean, you don't really hear too much about that kind of stuff at a comedy show. You hear about hecklers and they'll get tossed, but there's not a lot of violence going on. Not that I know of, anyway.
I know Big J Okerson was attacked on stage.
Oh, is that
he
right?
Was tackled from
No
behind.
kidding.
Yeah. This was back last summer, I think.
They don't
I didn't hear
have
about
people
that.
stand on the stage to interfere with that.
They have security here, but again,
And
it's
Oz.
yeah, Ozzy and Kenny. But it's a very rare thing. There was James Goff. Do you know him?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
He there was something with him a few just shortly before the pandemic, maybe a year or so before the pandemic. There was something with him, something that got physical here.
Oh, no kidding.
But again, that was a few years ago. That's the last one that I know of that happened here. You really don't get a lot of that.
I find myself,
thankfully.
I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 20 years. I'm waiting for the
You'll go viral. You guys should set it up where he attacks
you know
on
what?
stage.
There you go. We'll set it up. We'll choreograph the whole thing. We'll get you in the lock.
We'll get a fake audience. I'll
I don't
open
like
up
what
the
you
giggle
said to me in
room.
8th grade at lunch. You snapped my girlfriend's
Gidry
bra.
card.
You snapped my girlfriend's bra. It wasn't me. It was Casey. But you're up there with a driven purpose because you're in that mindset. You're going to perform.
Right.
Whereas probably the both of us, I know I'm watching. Ask my wife. Even before that was probably because of my father. I put my back to the door in a restaurant.
Same here.
On the airplane, coming here, I get the pre-board because of the disability.
Right.
I am the first one on the plane. Well, usually if it's not security staff, that means the marshals came from off the tarmac. So I don't know who's who.
Yeah.
I go sit in the last row, on the second to last row on the last side. It's just so I can see who's coming.
Mm-hmm.
And
do the
then when
same
I get
thing.
off, I'm the last one off.
Right. Really, you do the same thing? Yeah.
In restaurants, I'll make sure I can see the door.
Really?
On the cruise
And
ship?
so no one can come up behind me.
Well, as you know, that I was really affected with 9/11 because I was down the street talking to people.
Yes, I remember
went
that.
Down.
Mm-hmm.
So that was right after my military deployment. That was pretty intense. But I don't trust a lot of things. So I went on a cruise with my wife, and coming out of our cabin, I carry one of those little flashlights on a key ring, and I kept that with me the whole time because ship could go down, whatever, anything could happen. It could be some kind of terrorist action. I count the paces to the door.
Oh wow!
Oh yeah. I count even on the handrail because if it goes black, I'll count the little brackets that hold it to the wall. Okay, I know I got to hit 6 and turn left. The door is there.
Jeez.
That's people call that paranoid. I call it self-preservation because at that point, nothing's more important to me than my family and me coming out of there wherever. My wife, he's just paranoid that he takes it to the extreme. But there's been times where I've been right, not to that extent.
You only got to be right once to justify it.
Well, that's right. That's how I see it too. Most of the time you are doing all that for nothing, thankfully.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's all you need is the one time, and it's all worth it.
Whenever we come to the giggle room, me and Brian, I always get the same table right up by the stage against the wall.
Yeah.
So I can see when people are coming in. In case Rob White gets attacked, I can help him.
But what comic wouldn't help? I'm kidding.
You're not going to say that,
That's
right?
a longer list.
I don't know, is our friend
Some I would count to 10.
Is our friend Tom your bully? Is he a comic?
Tom Aquendo. Yeah, I wish.
There was somebody that we know. We were at their house for a session one day. Me, you, and Stutz. We were at Mulcahy's.
Okay.
And we were at the front. And I was with the whole group, and we're all dancing in the front. Literally, the stage is right here.
Yep.
And I remember looking to the right because somebody was sloppy drunk, female, who fell on the floor.
Wow.
And there was another person next to me in that group. I said, "Step back." And she said, "Is that piss?" And I said, "I think so."
Oh.
Because she was really out of it. And they called her off. But what brought my attention is when I looked up, while he's banging out on the piano and his legs are right, this large-sized female was literally like this. Everybody's dancing, have a good time, and she's got that look.
Stands out just because.
And I'm saying every molecule in my training, in my body, just said, "This is bad. This is bad." So I went and just snapped a picture.
Okay.
And you could see everybody's around. She's just like this.
What, against the stage?
Her elbows are on the stage.
Yeah.
And the piano legs are like right there. And she's like this.
Standing out just because she's doing nothing.
Exactly. And I'm saying this person is just wrong. But they haven't done anything.
Right.
And I wouldn't take notice if this person didn't urinate on the floor.
Thank you for urinating on the floor.
And then all of a sudden, when he gets up and he goes down the stage and someone else takes over banging the piano, he goes into the crowd and he's singing.
Yes.
This person got distracted, still standing at the legs, not realizing it's the original person. And when you hear out behind him, she turned around, furious, like she missed it. Oh my God, he walked right past me.
Yeah.
And bang, bang, bang. I hit the phone again, and I had said to something. They're like, "Send me that picture. Send me that picture," because my understanding there was incidents that were like anonymous later on, and I said,
Yeah.
My money's there.
No.
My money's there.
Wow.
But nothing ever began. I mean, that was a couple of years ago. But you know, you want to go have a good time. There was no way I could. I was just waiting for the whatever was going to happen.
Sure.
Yeah.
And especially if you're up here like this, and your legs get it, or who knows what, throwing something up on a stage.
Does that ever upset you that you're trying to enjoy yourself and you're like, damn, I can't. That training is so instilled in me.
And some of that has to do with PTSD also, because I'm trying to anticipate what's going on.
Yeah.
But I've gotten better with it, but it'll never leave me at all.
Yeah.
You know, how terrible you feel. It's like, I just saw that person, you know?
Yeah.
It's usually like when I bring my daughters somewhere, I keep, I'm not paying attention. Like, I've gone to concerts here and there.
Sure.
I'm not paying attention to what's going on with the concert. I'm usually making sure they're okay, you know?
Right,
So,
yeah.
I'm also
that makes me boring, whatever.
You know, I'm a head counter from the profession of
just want them
counting.
safe.
I'm always the last one out. If we go out on a big family thing, let's go. I've got 12. Let's go. We're
Right.
good.
Right. Yeah, I'm the same way with crowds. Like,
Home
let
Alone
them
would
all.
never happen with you.
What's that?
Home Alone would have never happened.
That's right.
In the shortest
I'd have
movie ever.
had weapons. That's nothing. I'd have had weapons. My wife will tell you. So will Jeff if he calls back. If you break into my house, if the dog don't get you, I will. For sure.
Wow. Very nice. All right. It is time. So again, August 5th. Where is it again?
Giggle Room.
The Giggle Room. Very nice. Right here. So come see Lou Pratt's August 5th with Terry, you said?
Yeah,
Terry McNeely Show. Who else is doing that, do you know?
Mandy, Bonnie.
Oh, Mandy and Bonnie. Very nice.
I have to look at the list.
And a bunch of other great comedians with Terry. Go to govers.com to make yourself some reservations. And good to see you, pal.
Same here.
It's been a while.
Well, not
good
as
to
much
see
as
you.
this. At least one child to go too. Yeah, and the daughter. That's the other thing I learned today.
So that makes it what? So 2062. We'll be back here again.
I'm not sure if I can make it.
We'll make sure we'll do it
Thanks
sooner
for
than
having
that.
us.
Yes.
Always a pleasure.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you, man. Good to see you.
Same
Good
here.
to see you. And then Brian's over there hiding.
I'll bring the wife next time.
Yes, please bring the wife next time. So you're actually now you're both heading back to Florida soon.
I'm going tomorrow. You're going Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Well, are you near Disney?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I am. I'm close by, but we can get together. I'd like to do that. Actually,
I'm not gonna have a car. We're gonna
It's
be
okay.
in Polynesian. You know what? Can you pick me up? There's an open mic down there. I'd like to hit it.
Listen, I had told you. There's a guy. No problem.
That would be cool, actually.
Where's Snare? Is he down
Well,
there?
actually, what day?
Yeah, I think
You're,
is he
near
you're
there?
coming down Wednesday, going home when?
The following Thursday.
I can probably. Actually this Thursday. I'm having surgery on my arm, but I can. That's no.
Having surgery? Didn't you just have surgery?
That was workers' comp. This is something else. This is that
goodness.
carpal tunnel I got on a
Just having
trap.
muscles put in.
Yeah, that's it. I'm bulking up.
That's
taking,
what happens.
Taking it from here and putting it on.
That's what happens when you retire. Just I'll get some surgery.
Yeah, sure.
Before people go out, that's exactly what they do.
What they do. Yeah.
They burning up that time.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Well, good luck with whatever you're doing.
Thank you. Yeah, Lou do the
Now
surgery.
Tony's all paranoid. He's gonna start sitting.
I'm not. Yeah, right.
They're like, oh, we twilight you. I want to be unconscious. I don't want to hear anything. And I made the mistake of watching the video of what they're gonna do.
Oh yeah, you
that's
can't
when
do
I
that.
got my colonoscopy. And I was like, nobody touches me until I'm under.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what's even worse though? Actually, my brother had He had some surgeries back when we were kids. He was not a healthy kid. But he has a video from 1982, I think it is, where he had some major surgery in his stomach. And like, I don't know if he can sit through it. I did 30 seconds. I'm like, I can't watch this.
Yeah,
it's my brother. I can't do this.
Yeah.
Like, I think
That
that's
makes it, much worse.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, so we're out of here. Enjoy. So safe trip to Florida.
Thank you.
And enjoy Richie tonight. And Mo will be there, and behave yourself.
Maybe I'll stop by with my bagpipes.
Come on. Absolutely.
That would be a first, I bet. That would be pretty cool. Richie does. He lets everybody on the stage, right?
That'd be funny.
Come on. We got you. We absolutely got you.
All right, we're out of here. Thanks for hanging out with us. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. We got Steve Squared on tonight at 6:30. The Wort with Mike, Pete, and Steve at 8 o'clock. And then Sallie and I are back here with the boys tomorrow for Tuesday Trivia. Enjoy the rest of your Monday, and we'll see you later. Thanks again, guys. This was a lot of fun. Good
My
to see
pleasure.
you all.
Thanks for having me.
All right, we'll see you guys later.